my channel. My name is Laura, and today is the last day of August. So I am doing my wrap-up for the month of August. I can't believe the summer is over and I'm going back to work. So anyway, I am using my trusty journal. I write in, I don't know if you haven't seen this before, this is my journal that I write all the books that I read. And I will show you a little bit. This was last month. But this is how I put the picture of the book, and then I write about what I read and what my feelings were and everything. And I put my star rating, and if I listen to it on audio, I always note it in here. So anyway, so the first book that I read in the month of August is a new adult book. I took out Craving by Helen Hart. Actually, I bought the book because the library did not have it, and they don't have any of her books. She is new adult, so there are sexy times in these books. This one was very, very good. It's about a girl named Jade. She's 25 years old, and she is just finished college, and she finished medical school, and she went for her bar exam, and she's waiting for her results. Meanwhile, she was getting married, and she was left at the altar. So that's the first character. She's the main character. The second character, so after she got left at the altar, she decides to go visit her friend, and her friend has 3 brothers. And one of the brothers, Talon, he is 35 years old, which is 10 years older than her. He just came out of the military, and not only does he have military nightmares, he is also suffering from a childhood secret, and I am not going to tell you what it is because that's that's a spoiler, and I'm not telling you. Anyway, it was very, very good. I enjoyed it, and it left on a cliffhanger, book 1. So immediately I ran out and got book 2. So I read Obsession, which is the same author. And I really liked this one. It continued on, and we found out what his secret was. And this book, both books, had a very explicit warning in the front. It's for adults. It's mature content. It has very graphic sexual abuse in there. So I just want to warn you, that's like a trigger warning. This was very, very good. I enjoyed both books. Book 1 I gave 5 stars. Book 2 I gave 4.5 stars. The reason I dropped it down 0.5 star was all the typos within the book. Whoever edited it was a very bad editor, and I was getting annoyed. But I really, really enjoyed the story itself, and the book 3 is coming out the end of September, and I already pre-ordered it. So yes, and I will be checking out more of this author's writing. The library does not have any of her books, but when I have extra money, I will be picking up more of her books. I really enjoyed the story, so that's that one. So that's book 1 and book 2. Then I was reading on my Kindle, and you know I don't like to read on my Kindle, but it really worked out good when I was at my mother's house and I was able to read in the sun. I read on my iPad, and I read a book 4. Yes, I got it from NetGalley. I did not read book 1 through 3. I read book 4. I read it as a standalone, and I really enjoyed it. And I gave it 5 stars, and the book that I read was The Regrets of Cyrus Dodd by Bentley Crosby. And this is the second book that I've read by her, and the second book that I gave 5 stars to by her. So she is on my top authors. I really enjoyed her writing style. This story, I'm going to read my notes a little bit here. This story is about 2 men. They live on a farm, and this is an adult book. So there is adult content in it. They live on a farm with their family, and lots of things happen. The story starts out, I don't know what the time frame was, but the story starts out they're going around on horses. So they travel to the supermarket on horse. It's very, very old style. I don't know what year, but it starts really, really old. And then it goes all the way. They start out young, and then they go all the way up to like old, like grandmother type, and then they have cars. So, but I really, really enjoyed it, and there are I have written in my notes: there's deception, there is revenge, there's heartache. I really felt for the story. The men tell the story, but they do also tell about the wives in the story. And I really enjoyed it, so I gave it 5 stars. I probably will eventually pick up 1 through 3 and read them, but I don't know if it's the same characters, because this was, I didn't get confused or anything. It was like reading a standalone. So, yeah, 5 stars. The next book that I read was a graphic novel, and I read Giant Days. I'm going to move over so I can put the picture up here. Giant Days, and I really like this one. I gave it 4 stars. It's a graphic novel. It's about 3 girls who are in college for the first year. There's the first girl, her name is Daisy. She doesn't know if she likes girls and boys. And then there is Susan, who has an ex that shows up, and he likes to humiliate her, and we don't know the story like behind it, and you're trying to figure out why is he doing this to her. And the last person is Esther, and she is very gothic, and she drama just follows her along, and I really enjoyed it. This book is about friendship. There is LGBTQ in here. There's underage drinking, underage drugs, smoking, and it was not funny to me because of all those topics, but I really enjoyed the great friendship in the book. So that's that one. And it's book 1, so I think there are more books to it. Okay, the next book I took out from the library, and this one was funny because I took it out from the library and my kids were like, "Oh, Mom, what is that?" And they were like going through it, looking at the pictures, and I had to take the book away because there was inappropriate pictures in there. It's a graphic novel, and it's called The 3 Sensuous Sisters. And I'll put the picture up here. I watch YouTube a lot, so eventually I see somebody does a review, and I want to read the book like right away, so I put my whatever books I want on my library list, and there's a wait list for everything. So I get these books and they call me to pick them up, and I'm like, what is this? It was a fat graphic novel. However, there was only pictures in it, and it only had like 1 sentence on each page. And it took me 10 minutes to read the whole entire book. There was disturbing pictures. It was a disturbing story. I gave this book 2 stars. I didn't really like it. So anyway, yeah, some disturbing pictures. I had to take the book away from my son because he was trying to look at all the pictures. Yeah. Okay, so the next book, here I am. I'm in a 2-star now. In another 2-star. I tried reading Mr. Penumber's 24-Hour Bookstore, and I listened to this one on audio, and I was on my book club, so I was reading with other people who were reading it with me. And it started out really, really good and intriguing. And I really liked it. Like, he was in the bookstore, he just got the job there, and he wasn't allowed, he had to work at night, so he worked in the night shift, but he worked by himself. Sorry. He worked by himself, and he was not allowed to read any books in the middle of the night, so while he was working. So he had to keep track of all the people that were coming into the store. So he had to write like what they would take, what books they were taking out, and what they looked like, what they were wearing. It kind of like was like stalky to me. And then the story just like, it didn't go anywhere. And I'm like, listen to it and listen to it. I'm like, what the heck am I listening to? It just rambled on and on and on. And I was like, everybody was giving it 5 stars and all this stuff. And I thought something would go somewhere. And I'm like, we never found out why he was writing all those things in the book. I don't know. I didn't care at the end. So I gave it 2 stars. I did finish it, but 2 stars. Anyway, so I have a 5-star for you again. I picked up Claiming Noah by Amanda Ortlip, and I'll put the picture here. This book was a roller coaster of a ride. It's an adult book, and it is about 2 women who have infertility problems, and they one couple they are doing IVF. And they have these extra eggs. So she wanted to have a child, and she used her eggs, and then she had ones frozen. So she gave the ones that were frozen, she donated them to another couple who has a baby, who has her baby. It's really, really intriguing because the first couple who donated the donated eggs, she becomes very depressed after she has the baby, and it just goes on. She goes into a mental institution, and things happen, and there's this twists and turns, and things that I didn't see coming, and it was really, really good, and one of the babies gets kidnapped. Yeah, it was really, I couldn't put the book down. I was like, Mom, I was telling my mother, I was texting her, like, what was happening. She's like, what kind of book you reading? Because I went through all those fertility treatments and all that too. So, yeah. So, I really enjoyed this one. I gave it 5 stars. Now, I did DNF one book. And I already told you on a Friday Reads that I was probably going to DNF this one, and I did. I DNF'd Ready Player One. Another reason I DNF'd it, I had an audiobook out, and the library, it ended, and then I had to go on a wait list again, and I wasn't really enjoying the story anyway. They occasionally... It told you about 80s references because I was born in the 80s, but it just did not grasp me, and I am not a game person, and this one was about 1/3 of the book. The guy was going on games and playing video games throughout, and it was so boring to me. So anyway, I did not finish this. I did not give a rating. I did write my review up on Goodreads because I wanted them to know. I wanted other people to know that I DNF'd it, and just not give it a rating because I don't want the author to, So I don't rate it if I didn't finish it. So yeah, because I don't want to finish it because I know it's going to be a 2-star or 1-star. And I didn't want to finish it, so I just gave up. So that's it for now. We go back to work next Tuesday, so I am in the middle of a lot of books right now. I think I have 3 hours left of Game of Thrones, so that's one book that I'm reading. And then I have a couple of other books that I'm reading at the same time. So anyway, thank you for watching. I will... probably won't do a Friday Reads this week, and I don't think I have my Saturday Shelfie tour. My bookshelf fell. I did buy a new bookshelf, but I haven't had a chance to put it together because I am moving my room from upstairs to downstairs, and I haven't gotten a chance to do that. So Hopefully I will get my bookshelf up after my room is eventually finished, and I will come back to do Saturday shelfie tours. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye.